Alleged child sex ring kingpin, Gerhard Ackerman, continues to maintain his innocence. Judgment in his case was meant to be heard today but has been postponed to next week on account of the judge's ill health. Ackerman faces over 700 charges, including murder, rape and human trafficking. He and his clients allegedly sexually violated teenage boys between 14 and 16, as Zikhona Tshona reports.
It was a brief court appearance. Just before proceedings, Ackerman told a group of journalists that jail is hard. He says he is innocent and maintains, as he's previously told the court, that he did nothing wrong and that his alleged victims knew exactly what they were doing.
I think the challenge we're faced with is that when people violate children, they think it's okay, especially if it's boy children. They believe that it's not so bad. You see, Ackerman thinks, oh, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were getting themselves into. How do you even think like that around children? We're hoping that next Monday and Tuesday, as the judge said, he'll be found guilty. And after being found guilty, he'll be sentenced to the longest time in prison. By the time he comes out, he should be an unbelievably old man who's less arrogant than he is right now.
The courtroom was filled with activists who are calling for a guilty judgment and the harshest sentence.
Look, Mr. Ackerman testified in his own defense, and really his own defense was that he did nothing wrong. Everybody knew what it is that they were getting into. The boys were of the age of consent. The parents knew some of the acts that we consider sexual, he doesn't consider sexual. So his defense is a flat-out denial of the wrongfulness of what he did. Now, obviously in the judgment, we are assuming that the judge will not accept his evidence. In other words, that he will say that that defense is not a defense, which will be a test of the trafficking legislation. We look at denial of fact, we look at denial of impact, and we look at denial of responsibility. He denies he did anything wrong. He denies the impact. He says nothing happened to these children. There's no impact on them or their families. And he denies that he was responsible. It was the guys who rented it. It was the boys who went there, told them not to do something. They chose to do something. And what that tells us, and I hope we get a judgment, like I said, where the judge does not accept his defense, and then in sentencing, I'm hoping they're going to lead evidence about the fact that if those defences are present, denial of fact, responsibility and impact, the chance of his rehabilitation is very, very low. And as a result, he needs to be punished, and we believe that the appropriate punishment is a life sentence. And the reason we're calling for life is because of the parole process that follows this. Because if you get 25 years, suddenly you're applying for parole after 18. Okay, and you're applying to the parole board. Whereas if you get life, you can only apply after 25 years, and it has to go to the minister. So there's a level of oversight over the process.
Judgment will be handed down from 10 o'clock on Monday, the 24th of April. For Newzroom Afrika on channel 405, I'm Zikhona Tshona in Johannesburg.